If you're over 60 and noticing that your body doesn't respond the way it used to, whether that's in terms of energy, intimacy, or just everyday motivation, you're not alone. Many men experience these slow changes and assume it's just a natural part of getting older. But what if I told you it might not be aging at all? What if the fatigue, the slower circulation, and the decline in sexual performance all had a different root cause, one that's entirely fixable? I'm Dr. Juliana, a men's vitality specialist, and I've spent over 2 decades helping men rediscover what it means to feel strong, energized, and confident again. The truth is, for most men, the issue isn't a lack of drive, it's a lack of the right support inside the body, and often that support doesn't come from prescriptions or complicated treatments. It starts with simple nutrients your body desperately needs and probably isn't getting. Today, I want to walk you through 3 powerhouse nutrients that every man over 60 should be focusing on. These aren't exotic, expensive supplements. In fact, they're commonly available, but the benefits they deliver when taken correctly can be life-changing. I've seen them help men regain their natural erections, restore energy that's been missing for years, and support the body's natural testosterone production without artificial hormones. But before we dive into what they are and how to use them, I want to share something important. There's one mistake most men make when taking these nutrients, and it's so common, it often cancels out all the benefits. I'll explain exactly what that mistake is and how to avoid it later in this series. But for now, let's get into the first nutrient, one that plays a critical role in your blood flow, your stamina, and even how your brain feels day to day. Let's talk about vitamin D. Most people think of it as the sunshine vitamin, something kids need for their bones. But for men over 60, vitamin D is one of the most important tools for staying energized, sexually active, and mentally sharp. I once had a patient named Mike, a 67-year-old retired teacher. He came to me not because of illness, but because he said, "I just feel dimmed, like the lights are still on, but they've faded." He described low mood, weak energy, and a lack of interest in physical intimacy. Nothing too extreme, just enough to affect his confidence and quality of life. We ran a full panel, and sure enough, his vitamin D levels were deeply depleted. He wasn't sick, he was starved of a vital nutrient that affects nearly every system in the male body. And here's the surprising part. Mike walked his dog every morning. He wasn't locked indoors. But as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sunlight. Even men who get sun exposure, eat well, and stay active can still fall into deficiency without realizing it. Vitamin D does more than help your bones. It helps regulate blood pressure, supports the immune system, and most importantly, it plays a vital role in blood circulation and testosterone function. When your vitamin D levels are low, your body produces less nitric oxide, the molecule that helps blood vessels relax and open up. That means blood doesn't flow as easily, especially to the places that matter most during intimacy. It also means your energy levels drop, your recovery slows down, and your overall vitality fades. After just 3 weeks of adding vitamin D3 to his morning routine, Mike came back with a smile. He said, "Doc, I feel warmer, more alive, like something's been switched back on." That's what vitamin D does when your body finally gets what it's been missing. And it's not hard to get. 15 to 20 minutes of sunlight in the morning can help boost natural production, especially if you expose your face, arms, and legs. But if sunlight isn't enough, which it often isn't in winter or cloudy climates, a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement can do wonders. The key is using the right form. Most people grab the cheapest bottle off the shelf and assume it's all the same. But the truth is, vitamin D2, the form used in many multivitamins, is not nearly as effective as vitamin D3, which is the form your body actually uses. Dosage matters too. For men over 60, A daily intake between 2,000 and 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 is often recommended, especially if you're starting from a deficiency, but it's always best to consult with a health provider and get a blood test to see where your levels are. Remember, vitamin D is fat-soluble, so take it with a meal that includes healthy fats for better absorption. Something as simple as eggs, avocado, or a handful of nuts can do the trick. But vitamin D is only the beginning. To truly optimize your body's performance, not just sexually, but mentally, physically, and hormonally, you need to support other systems too. That brings us to the second key nutrient that often goes ignored, yet has the power to regulate sleep, muscle function, testosterone, and even mood. It's one of the most common deficiencies in aging men, and correcting it can bring fast, noticeable changes. In the next section, we're going to dive into this mineral and how it can help you feel like yourself again, rested, strong, and in control of your body. It's not a magic pill, but it acts like one when your body has been running on empty for too long. You're going to want to pay attention to this one. After restoring vitamin D levels, the next most powerful shift I've seen in men over 60 comes from a mineral that doesn't get nearly enough attention. It's not flashy, and it doesn't get marketed heavily on supplement bottles, but it quietly supports over 300 processes in your body every single day. That mineral is magnesium, and for many men, a deficiency in magnesium is the invisible wall standing between them and the energy, strength, and hormonal balance they used to have. You might be surprised to learn that more than half of adults are magnesium deficient, and for men over 60, the rate is even higher. Why? Because as we age, our digestive system becomes less efficient at absorbing magnesium from food, and most modern diets are severely lacking in magnesium-rich sources to begin with. Let me share a quick story. A man named Frank came to me in his early 70s. He was lean, walked daily, had no major health issues, but still, he struggled with constant muscle cramps at night, poor sleep, anxiety, and overall fatigue. He told me, "I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I still wake up tired, and by evening, I'm just burned out." We ran some tests, and his magnesium levels were low, not dangerously low, but low enough to cause disruption across several systems. Once we identified that, we made a plan. Daily magnesium glycinate at bedtime, combined with dietary changes like increasing leafy greens, nuts, and seeds. Within 2 weeks, Frank came back looking sharper. His sleep had improved, his legs had stopped cramping at night, and, in his words, his inner calm returned. What he described as anxiety turned out to be nervous system imbalance caused by a mineral deficiency. Magnesium is essential for men over 60 because it directly supports nerve function, blood sugar regulation, muscle contraction, and hormone production. One of its most powerful benefits is its role in supporting restful sleep. If you've been tossing and turning at night, waking up groggy or unable to fall into deep sleep, low magnesium could be the reason. And if your sleep is poor, everything else, energy, libido, mental clarity, motivation, starts to suffer. I've worked with men who felt like they were losing their edge, only to discover that poor sleep was draining their testosterone levels, increasing their stress hormone cortisol, and making them feel older than they were. Once we fixed the magnesium deficiency, they felt like themselves again. But magnesium doesn't just help you sleep, it also plays a crucial role in testosterone production. Low magnesium levels are linked to low free testosterone in men, especially as they age. You might be eating right and even exercising, but if your magnesium is off, your hormonal balance can still be stuck. The reason is that magnesium binds to sex hormone-binding globulin, SHBG, a protein that reduces free testosterone in the blood. By supporting proper magnesium levels, You actually help your body keep more usable testosterone available, the kind that gives you drive, focus, and a sense of vitality. Think of it this way: magnesium is like the key that unlocks hormonal performance and keeps your internal systems running smoothly. Circulation is another area where magnesium quietly makes a difference. It helps relax blood vessels, lowering blood pressure and improving blood flow. And as you've probably guessed by now, better blood flow means better performance, not just physically, but sexually too. If you're experiencing weaker erections, slower recovery from workouts, or less physical stamina, low magnesium might be playing a role. When you combine magnesium with the circulation-boosting effects of vitamin D, you start to notice a compounding benefit. Your blood vessels are more open, your muscles recover faster, and you feel more awake in your own skin. I've seen men go from sluggish and frustrated to clear-headed and energized in under a month simply by restoring these two nutrients alone. Now, when it comes to magnesium supplementation, the form you choose matters. Magnesium oxide, the most common type in cheap supplements, is poorly absorbed and often causes digestive issues. I recommend magnesium glycinate for calming effects, or magnesium citrate for better absorption if digestion isn't a concern. Dosage for most men over 60 typically falls between 200–400 mg per day, but always start lower to see how your body responds. Some men also benefit from topical magnesium sprays or soaking in Epsom salt baths, which allow magnesium to be absorbed through the skin. A great option for those who don't tolerate oral supplements well. Consistency is once again the secret. You can't take magnesium once a week and expect miracles. Your body needs regular daily intake to truly restore its reserves. And because magnesium works so closely with vitamin D, helping to activate it in the body, taking them together multiplies their effects. That's why I recommend magnesium in the evening, paired with your vitamin D dose in the morning or midday with a meal. The synergy builds over time and restores a rhythm that many men haven't felt in years. Still, as powerful as vitamin D and magnesium are together, there's one more nutrient that completes the puzzle, one that supports your immune system, improves testosterone balance, boosts sperm health, and enhances libido all at once. This nutrient is often overlooked, yet it's critical for maintaining masculinity and drive well into your 60s, 70s, and even 80s. In the next section, we'll dive into it, and I'll show you exactly how to use it alongside the other two to rebuild your energy, performance, and confidence from the inside out. Now that we've addressed vitamin D and magnesium, two foundational nutrients for circulation, hormone support, and energy, it's time to focus on a mineral that's just as vital, especially when it comes to masculinity, immune function, and libido. That mineral is zinc. You've probably heard about zinc in the context of immune support, especially during cold and flu season. But for men over 60, zinc plays a much deeper role. It's a key player in testosterone production, prostate health, and reproductive strength. And the truth is, zinc deficiency is far more common than people realize. It often shows up subtly through things like low libido, delayed wound healing, thinning hair, loss of taste or smell, or even frequent illnesses. But what's not obvious is that these symptoms are signs your body's masculinity engine is slowing down, and zinc may be the missing fuel. Take the story of Thomas, a 66-year-old retired engineer who visited me complaining of fading drive. He didn't feel sick, but he said something didn't feel right. He wasn't motivated like he used to be. His workouts felt harder, his sexual performance had dropped, and he found himself catching colds more often. On the surface, his diet seemed clean. He was active, but when we looked deeper, we discovered his zinc levels were low, likely because of age-related changes in absorption and his history of taking acid reflux medications, which deplete zinc over time. Once he started a consistent regimen of zinc supplementation and made a few dietary adjustments, he felt a shift within weeks. His energy lifted, his libido returned, and he even reported fewer infections through the winter. Zinc didn't just help his immune system, it helped bring back a part of himself he thought was gone for good. Zinc is essential for testosterone synthesis. In fact, studies have shown that men with low testosterone often have low zinc, and supplementing zinc in deficient individuals can lead to significant improvements in testosterone levels. It works by acting on enzymes that convert cholesterol into testosterone. Without enough zinc, that process simply slows down. It also inhibits aromatase, an enzyme that turns testosterone into estrogen. So zinc not only helps you produce more testosterone, it helps keep your testosterone from being converted into something else. That makes it incredibly important for men over 60 whose natural testosterone levels are already declining due to age. Supporting that balance naturally can mean the difference between feeling vibrant and feeling worn out. But zinc's benefits go beyond hormones. It plays a protective role in the health of the prostate, one of the most sensitive organs for aging men. High concentrations of zinc are found in the prostate, and maintaining these levels is associated with a lower risk of enlargement and inflammation. I've had men tell me they wake up 5 or 6 times a night to urinate and feel like they never empty their bladder. While many factors can cause this, one overlooked contributor is low zinc. By restoring zinc levels, some men have experienced improved urinary flow and reduced urgency, signs that the prostate is functioning more efficiently. Zinc also supports sperm health, DNA repair, skin regeneration, and mental sharpness, all areas that tend to decline as we age. And while it may seem like a simple supplement, getting the right kind of zinc and the right amount is crucial. Too little and you stay deficient. Too much and you risk interfering with copper absorption, another trace mineral your body needs. That's why I usually recommend men over 60 take between 15–30 mg of elemental zinc daily, but not more unless a doctor is supervising it. Zinc picolinate and zinc citrate are two well-absorbed forms that I've seen work well for most people. And remember, quality matters. Cheaper supplements often contain zinc oxide, which is poorly absorbed and far less effective. You can also get zinc from food. In fact, that's the best place to start. Foods like oysters, the highest natural source, beef, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and chickpeas all offer solid zinc levels. But again, as we age, our stomach acid levels drop, which means we don't extract zinc from food as efficiently as we once did. That's why a well-chosen supplement paired with a zinc-rich diet can make all the difference. Now let's talk synergy. Remember the 3 power nutrients we've covered: vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc. When these are optimized together, the results are often far more impressive than when taken in isolation. Here's how they work in harmony. Vitamin D boosts nitric oxide for improved blood flow, which helps circulation to key areas, including the brain and reproductive organs. Magnesium calms the nervous system and supports testosterone activation, while also assisting in vitamin D absorption. Zinc, on the other hand, increases testosterone production directly, supports the immune system, and protects the prostate. Together, these 3 form a powerful trio that helps men restore physical vitality, mental clarity, emotional confidence, and intimate health, without relying on harsh pharmaceuticals or quick-fix gimmicks. But there's one important thing we haven't talked about yet, and that's how men sabotage these efforts by taking the wrong supplements, at the wrong time, or in the wrong combinations. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Because if you're not careful, you might be taking all the right nutrients in all the wrong ways. In the next part, I'll walk you through how to build a sustainable routine, avoid the most common supplement mistakes, and start rebuilding your energy, masculinity, and performance from the inside out. Now that we've uncovered the powerful benefits of vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc, and how each plays a key role in restoring energy, circulation, and testosterone levels in men over 60, it's time to address the part no one talks about, the mistakes. Because even when you know what your body needs, you can still end up spinning your wheels if you don't use these nutrients correctly. And unfortunately, this is where many men fall short. They either pick the wrong supplements, take the wrong forms, combine them poorly, or fail to stay consistent. Let's be clear, the right nutrients only work when you use them the right way. The most common mistake I see is choosing low-quality, synthetic supplements. You've probably seen those giant, cheap multivitamins at the drugstore, the kind that promise 100% of your daily needs in one little pill. The problem? They're often packed with filler ingredients, artificial colors, and poorly absorbed forms of vitamins and minerals. For example, many over-the-counter zinc supplements use zinc oxide, which your body has a hard time breaking down. Likewise, magnesium is frequently sold as magnesium oxide, which has extremely low bioavailability. And as we mentioned earlier, vitamin D is sometimes sold as D2, a weaker plant-based form that isn't as effective in raising blood levels compared to D3. So even if the label looks impressive, your body might not actually absorb or benefit from what you're taking. Another critical mistake is inconsistency. A lot of men get motivated for a week or two, start a supplement regimen, and then taper off once they don't see immediate changes. But here's the truth. Vitamins and minerals aren't medications. They don't offer quick fixes. They work gradually by supporting the body's natural systems over time. That means daily, consistent intake is essential, just like eating or brushing your teeth. You don't eat healthy once a week and expect to lose weight. The same principle applies here. Your energy, hormone balance, and circulation don't rebuild overnight. They need steady reinforcement. The men I've worked with who see real transformation are the ones who commit, not perfectly, but consistently. Timing is another factor that's often overlooked. Some nutrients are fat-soluble, which means they need to be taken with food that contains fat to be absorbed properly. For example, vitamin D3 should always be taken with a meal, preferably one with some healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or eggs, to optimize absorption. Taking it on an empty stomach, you're wasting most of it. On the other hand, magnesium is best taken in the evening because of its calming, muscle-relaxing properties. It can help you sleep better, reduce nighttime cramps, and support overnight muscle repair. Zinc, meanwhile, is a bit trickier. It can upset your stomach if taken without food, so it's best taken with a light meal, not dairy-based, as calcium can block zinc absorption. Managing these details makes a real difference in how well your body absorbs and uses each nutrient. There's also the issue of nutrient interaction. Some men unknowingly pair supplements that compete with each other for absorption. For instance, zinc and iron use the same transport pathways in the body. Taking high doses of both at the same time can block absorption of one or the other. Similarly, large doses of calcium can interfere with magnesium and zinc. That's why it's important to space out your supplements. If you're taking a morning and evening stack, for example, vitamin D and zinc with breakfast, magnesium before bed, you reduce interference and give each nutrient a better shot at doing its job. Then there's the problem of not addressing the root cause. Supplements are powerful, but they work best as part of a broader lifestyle plan. You can't expect zinc to fix low testosterone if you're also living a high-stress, low-sleep, junk food lifestyle. You can't count on vitamin D to improve circulation if you're sedentary all day and not hydrating properly. The body is a system, not a switch. These nutrients support that system, but they can't do it alone. When you pair them with small daily changes like a 20-minute walk, a cleaner diet, or better sleep hygiene, the results multiply. It's not about being perfect, it's about stacking the odds in your favor. Let me tell you about Gerald, a 70-year-old former teacher who came to me exhausted, anxious, and frustrated. He had been taking zinc and magnesium on his own for 6 months, but said he wasn't feeling any different. When we dug deeper, I realized he was taking cheap brands, skipping days, and taking both supplements with a large glass of milk, which blocked absorption. We cleaned up his routine, quality forms, timed properly, and taken consistently. We also added a D3 supplement with his lunch and encouraged a bit more movement and hydration each day. 3 weeks later, he emailed me, "Doc, I'm back in the gym, I'm sleeping through the night, and my wife says I'm smiling more." Sometimes, it's not that the supplements failed, it's that the approach did. So how do you do it right? Start by choosing quality supplements. Look for vitamin D3, magnesium glycinate or citrate, and zinc picolinate or citrate. Avoid synthetic fillers and shop from reputable brands. Then, get your timing right. Take vitamin D and zinc with a meal earlier in the day and magnesium in the evening. Finally, stay consistent. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine, like brushing your teeth. Add supportive habits like a walk in the morning sun, a handful of pumpkin seeds with lunch, or a warm Epsom salt bath at night. These aren't drastic changes, but when done together, day after day, they set the foundation for real, lasting improvement. And now that you know what to avoid, we're ready for the final part, where we'll tie it all together and walk through a sample daily routine that shows exactly how to integrate these nutrients into your life with ease. If you're a man over 60, low energy, poor sleep, or reduced performance might not just be aging, they could be due to deficiencies in vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc. These 3 nutrients are key for healthy testosterone levels, energy production, circulation, immune strength, and stress resilience. Start your morning with 15-20 minutes of sunlight for natural vitamin D, or take a D3 supplement with a fat-rich breakfast. Add zinc, like zinc picolinate, alongside a protein meal, but avoid dairy or coffee nearby, as they can block absorption. Through the day, focus on nutrient-rich whole foods, salmon, pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, and chickpeas. These foods support steady nutrient intake and boost the effects of your supplements. In the evening, take magnesium glycinate to help relax your muscles, improve sleep, and calm your nervous system. A warm bath with Epsom salts or light stretching before bed can help your body absorb magnesium and promote deeper rest. The key is consistency, not perfection. Even small daily steps will add up over time. Stick to this routine for a few weeks, and many men report feeling more energized, focused, and confident in both life and intimacy.